good evening from Chieftain Stadium as the Columbia River Chieftains just kicked off the football, and a quick start off for the Chieftains as they were able to recover a fumble from Mark Morris. Well, we apologize for the quick start today. Make sure, welcome to Chieftain Stadium, as I said earlier, presented to you by CRTV. I am your host, Jordan Ryan, tonight on this homecoming Friday evening where the Mark Morris Monarchs take on the Columbia River Chieftains. The Chieftains kicked off the ball and they have ended up with possession here to start off the game. So, great field position and an interesting opportunity here for the Chieftains. We'll see if they can capitalize. Pretty at the QB, looking deep. The catch is made and 2 plays. And the Chieftains have already put themselves on the board. Touchdown by Keith Blau.
Pass from Mason 30. There's a flag down.
There's a flag on the field.
There at the
An incredibly quick play from the Chieftains as Pretty was able to deliver it right into the hands of Blau. And it looks like there will be a penalty that'll push the Chieftains back. So no touchdown for the Chiefs here. A untimely penalty. And the Chieftains are going to get pushed back to the 44.
First down and about 22.
So 1st and 22 for the Chieftains. We'll see if they can reignite that same spark. Bibb O'Neill, no handoff. Pretty looks to throw it. Pretty finds his receiver, and that receiver is Adam Herenya.
That tackle by 11, Jaden Anderson.
And a good catch there by Herenya.
Jack Shipley for the Monarchs. That brings up 2nd down and 12.
So Chieftains looking at a 2nd and 12 here. Pretty. Short throw there. Gets it to Struvent, and he'll make it a couple of yards.
Tackle by Timur.
Well, this is a big game tonight for both the Monarchs and the Chieftains. The Monarchs have only played 1 league game so far after losing to Richfield last week. The Chieftains, on the other hand, are looking at their 3rd league game and looking for a 2nd win. Pretty slices his way through defenders, gets the first down, and gets out of bounds. A nice play by Mason Pretty, who was able to get right out of the pocket without a single defender even touching him.
2 tackles for British so far.
So 1st down for the Chieftains despite the costly first penalty. Bibb O'Neill will be in the backfield. Pretty will get the football, and that's to Herenya. Herenya with a nice catch there.
Gain of 9 yards.
A nice 9-yard gain for Herenya.
Jaden Anderson. Brings up 2nd down and 2.
So 10 minutes to go in the first quarter, and the Chieftains continue to push it up the field. Play action. The pitch to Struvent.
Max Sturtevant around left.
Struvent working the left side, and he's able to slide right around into the 6-yard
3
line.
yards, brings up 1st down. 1st down and 6 from the 6-yard line. That's a 1st and goal. That tackle again by Timur.
So a 1st down there. Looking at a 1st and goal chance here for the Chiefs. And the Chieftains looking for another hometown win here tonight, as last week was a particularly tough week for them, as it is for anyone who ends up having to face the Hawkinson Hawks, especially at Hawkinson. Bibb O'Neill crashing through the middle. Can't get to the end zone, but he will pick up a couple yards there.
Is by Keone Makawai of the Monarchs. Brings up second down and 2.
And we'll take a look. There's Bib O'Neill again, hopping into the end zone, and a nice job by O'Neill. And touchdown for the Chiefs. An excellent play there, and we'll take a look at that again. Bib O'Neill just able to power his way through that defensive line and end up in the end zone. Bib O'Neill, as of this season, has not played in any game except for the first game the Chieftains had against Centralia, where he injured his left wrist. He's back again tonight, and he's already showing his impact. The kick is good for the Chieftains. And just about 9 minutes left to go. The Chieftains have put themselves on the board, 7-0 at home. The Monarchs, on the other hand, are looking to hopefully receive a clean kickoff and get themselves on the offensive side of the football. Well, the Monarchs have only won one game so far this season, and that was against Stevenson in week 3, which is 2 weeks ago, as we enter week 5 for high school football.
Kicking to George Massier.
So Cade Lujan with a nice kick to get the 7th point. Will kick here
And
to the Monarchs.
Chapman of the Monarchs.
And clean reception from the Monarchs by Mosier. And they will fall right around the 25-yard line with the football, so not bad field position
Makes a few yards. That tackle by
for
Dylan
the
Keir.
Monarchs.
Brings up first down and 10 for the Monarchs on the 26-yard line.
Handoff down the middle, and running is hard to tell, but the Monarchs look like they just got the first down.
Run up the middle by Jamison Watson. Gain of 11 yards.
So a first down for the Monarchs as they get themselves up the field.
That tackle by a host.
Well, we just saw the firepower of the Chieftain offense a minute ago, but it'll be interesting to see what the Monarchs have to offer. Dodging defenders is Jared Knoll, who is able to get a couple of yards there, but the Chieftains have averaged 42 points allowed every game when it comes to their opponent, which is a massive amount of points given up and can make it very hard to win football games. So obviously there's some defensive concerns for the Chieftains here. We'll see if the Monarchs can exploit those holes here tonight. Bush hands it off. Down the middle is number 80, Bryson Webb.
Number 80, Bryson Webb, right left end.
He'll get a couple of yards there.
5 yards, and a second down and 2.
So
tackled by Chieftains Atticus Curse.
The Chieftains will stop the Monarchs just short of a first down. Third and 1 or 2 yards here. 7 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the first. They'll hand it off again. That's to number 43, Miguel Parra. And an easy first down there.
43, fullback 43, Miguel Parra, 83, first down.
The Monarchs continue to push it up the field with the run game so far, and the Chieftains haven't been able to stop them at the line of scrimmage.
First and 10, right 50 yards.
3 receivers on the field ready to go. Bush will hand it off again. And that's to number 7,
That run by
Timur
number 7,
Burashev.
Timur Bereshev, sorry. Gain of 4 yards.
So he'll pick up around 4 yards there.
By Eddie Hochholder.
An interesting contrast here. We see the Chieftain offense very pass-oriented, and so far the Monarchs have focused solely on the run game. We'll see if they change that up here. They do. Bush slips, gets the pass off, and that's caught by Jack Shipley. The first reception of the game for the Monarchs as they pick up the first down.
Complete to number 11, Jack Shipley. Gain of 12 yards, first and 10. Tackled by Victor Flores.
Monarchs in a tight formation. The handoff down the middle is
That's the fullback.
Keone
43 to go
McElwide.
for a gain of 4 yards. First down, second down and 6. That tackle by Atticus Curtis.
So the Chieftains were able to keep McElwide to 4 yards. Second and 6, 5 minutes and 25 left to go. 3 receivers on the left side. They'll hand it off. That's McElwide again, and a first down.
Run up the right side by Keone
The
McElwide.
Monarchs steadily pushing it up the field, and the Chieftains have not really been able
That tackle by
to keep them from
David
picking
Ayers.
up 5 or 6 yards at a time.
First down for the Monarchs.
So the clock's running. Another first down for the Monarchs as they find themselves at the 27-yard line. 3 receivers on the left side again. Bush hands it off down the middle. Quick tackle. And
Gain of 3 yards.
3-yard gain
Miguel
there.
Parra of the Monarchs. That tackle by Cody Hardy.
So Cody Hardy was able to get to
Right
Parra
down for trap block and making the tackle.
with some good speed there. Monarchs looking at a 2nd and 7.
Brings up second down and 8.
And 2nd and 8,
Quarterback
4 minutes and
keeper on the
25
right
left to
side.
go. There's a whistle,
4
and
yards.
looks like they'll pick up another 4 yards. There's only been 1
That's
throw on this
35,
play
Cole
series
Bush.
so far, and that's been to Jack Shipley. Everything
tackle.
else has been
Right.
powering them
American-
inside with the run game, and it's
And
worked
one,
so far. The
and one.
Chieftains have
American
been able to hold them at the 21,
of the Chieftains.
but for how long, we'll see. The handoff ends up being a throw off the hands
Bush's pass is
of
incomplete.
number
That
8,
brings up
Braden
fourth down
Chapman,
and 4 yards to
and
go.
a near turnover as the Chieftains were almost able to get themselves on that. As we'll take a look at that again. As the Chieftains almost able to get their hands on that football there, but it ended up being incomplete. So 4th and 3 for the Monarchs. They'd have no intention of kicking it here. Looking to throw. That's Shipley again. Shipley runs free rein into the end zone.
Pass. Complete
And that's
to
a touchdown.
Keone McElwide. Oh, number 11. Jack Shipley
For the Monarchs. An excellent play there for the Monarchs as they were able to cruise right into the end zone. Shipley with a nice catch, able to spin out of a potential tackle and find his way into the end zone as the Monarchs put 6 quick points onto the board. Well, after a rather slow play series only involving 2 completed catches, in the end, it unironically ends with a catch.
And PAT is good.
So the kick for the Monarchs is good. 7-7 score as the Chieftains look for a response coming out of this kick here. And of course, I mentioned earlier the Chieftains have only had one win this season, and that's been against Richfield at home. They've had a tough couple of first games to start. Centralia, their first game was a tough one. Of course, Skyview and Hawkinson are both well known for their football in their respective leagues. It has been a tough go for the Chieftains so far into this season. Of course, they're looking to turn it around and get potentially another win up on the board, especially since it's a league game. And right now the Chieftains are tied for third in league with Richfield and Woodland. Richfield, who won a game last week against Mark Morris, 13-20. Burashev to kick. Shervent with the reception. Shervent makes his way up the field. He's at the 40, breaks his way out of a tackle, still going at the 50, and he'll make it around the 44-yard line. Shervent with a nice kickoff reception there. Shervent able to slide out of a couple tackles and find his way into Mark Morris territory. So 3 minutes and 27 seconds to go in this first quarter. Three receivers ready to go, Shervent being one of them. But the reception will be made by Jacob Ayers. There's a flag on the field. Ayers will pick up 8 yards or so, depending on where this flag falls. And it'll be against the Chieftains. Another penalty against the Chieftains here. That's their second one so far in this game. And while the first one may not have ended up costing them any potential points, it's always a risk to be indulging in penalties at any point in a football game. Pretty to hand it off to Bibb O'Neill. Bibb O'Neill working the left side, fights through a tackle, and he'll be brought down by the Monarchs.
Isaac Bibb off the left side. Tackled by Jaden Anderson. Brings up
So the Chieftains, 2nd and 14. Pretty looks to throw it, and that catch is incomplete.
Curry's pass is incomplete.
Right in the hands of Samula Kamatule, or excuse me, Samula Kamatule, and we'll take a look at that pass again. A little bit behind Kamatule, but just went right through his hands. And an incomplete play there as the Chieftains look at a 3rd and 14. One man in the backfield with Pretty. He won't go to him. Pretty in trouble. Down the middle. Gets it to Shervent. That's a first down. And Shervent coming through with another excellent play. Shervent, only standing at 5'5", has been quick for the Chieftains all season and has been able to make many big plays, including that one there. Chieftains were looking at a potential kickoff. And Isaac Bibb O'Neill fights through tackles, finally is taken down by 3 Monarchs. And there was a fumble. And that quick fumble ends up in Monarch hands, and just like that, the Chieftains lose all progress, and the Monarchs end up with the ball at the 11-yard line. Well, the Chieftain argument was that Bib O'Neill was already down before that ball was fumbled, but the refs disagree, and the Monarchs will keep it. The tackle is
about a yard.
And
that tackle by
Atticus Kurtz is able to get the tackle there.
It's like a gain of 2. We'll go second
so
down
a
and 8.
2-yard gain for the Monarchs, who've been able to push their run game very well all game, especially in that first place series they had. So 1:30 left to go in the first. 3 receivers on the left side again. They will not go to him. McAway down the right side, able to pick up 3 or 4 yards.
McAway, gain of 6, brings up 3rd down and 2, 3rd down and 3. Tackle by 55.
So with a running clock, the Monarchs don't have great field position. Not that it will matter going into the second, they just flip the field. So 50 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Bush with the football. Bush looking to throw it. He's got time. Bush might just take it himself. He is, and he'll run out of bounds to stop the clock.
Bush runs around
and
the side.
there's a flag in the middle of the field.
First down.
We'll see what it's for.
Run out of bounds by Hayden Lula.
So that leaves 42.6 seconds on the clock. And a personal foul against Mark Morris, which will push them back several yards here. Mark Morris looking to make a couple of changes. Chieftains just looking to get a defensive stop here after a solid offensive run up until the fumble, of course. And now Mark Morris is looking at a 3rd and 3. We'll see if that changes after the penalty.
Third down and 7 yards.
So that'll make it a 3rd and 7. Bush hands it off. Down the middle is Barishev. And Barishev able to pick up a couple of yards there. Clock is running, 25 seconds.
Fourth down.
So a 4th down here. The Chieftains might have an opportunity to receive the punt and possibly get a chance to score here. Not that it will matter, but they will have solid field position as Sturvant is floating right around the 38 or 9 yard line. He's at a 40 now. And it looks like the clock will run out, and the Monarchs will punt it to start the second. So right now the game sits at a tie, 7-7 at Chieftain Stadium, as we have 12 more minutes left to go in this half. The Chieftains looking to answer back to the Monarchs' first 7 points. They were able to get a first defensive stop, which is encouraging for the Chieftain defense here tonight, as the first run for the Monarchs was just overpowering and was difficult for the Chieftains to really gain any defensive traction. So we'll flip the field here. The Monarchs will kick it from the left side.
Remember, stick around at halftime. We will have the homecoming court. 20-minute halftime.
So Sturvant will again sit around the 40-yard line. The kick will be made by the Monarchs. High snap and a short kick. Sturvant will wave it off, and looks like the Monarchs will get their hands on it at the 47-yard line.
Down at the 46-yard line, about 30 yards.
So a 30-yard kick there, give or take, and the Chieftains will take it at the 46 instead of the 47 to start the second. So the Chieftains looking to hold on to the football here and avoid a possible fumble or a turnover. Pretty at the helm is QB. Pretty throws it down the middle, picked off. And the ball is tipped and nearly picked off and caught
number 10
by number 2,
Jaden Anderson,
McAway.
defensive end on that side.
He was incredibly close to getting that. The intended
Brings up
receiver was
second down and 10
Sturvin.
for the Chiefs.
And we'll take a look at that again. That was tipped by one of the line on the Monarch side and nearly turned us over. Bib O'Neill gets some running game. Bib O'Neill still fighting and runs right into
Isaac
the 28-yard line.
Tackle by number 11, Jack Shipley.
As Bib O'Neill was able to find some room to run and get the first down for the Chieftains. Three receivers on the field. Pretty facing some trouble. Pretty nearly tackled. He's still up on his feet. Pretty flag on the play, spins, and he might get back to the line of scrimmage with luck. There's a flag on the field, a likely hold.
Losing about 4 yards. Pushed out of bounds by number 9, Mitchell Pelton.
And we'll take a look at that again as Pretty was able to get out of several big tackles there and avoid the sack. Still wondering what the flag was for. The ref's talking it over a little bit, and somehow Pretty was able to salvage that play and keep it from being a serious yard lossage. Not sure if he got his back to the line of scrimmage, and it looks like the refs are moving the ball up the field.
Looks like it's going to be enough for a
So
first down for the
that's
Chiefs.
going to be a first down for the Chiefs
Maybe not.
as
Moving the chains.
the Monarchs had the penalty
First down
there.
to 18.
So a nice turn of events for Columbia River as they now sit at the 18-yard line. Pretty hands it off. Bib O'Neill taking his time. Bib O'Neill falls his way close to the end zone.
Down to the 3-yard
And
line is
he
Isaac.
is right there. And he was patiently able to stay behind his blockers there
Tackled by
to get that yard pickup and a
number 8,
first
Braden
down.
Chapman.
Chieftains looking at a third and goal, or first and goal.
Touchdown,
And Chieftains
Chieftains.
with another touchdown.
24, Isaac Brooks.
Bib O'Neill with another touchdown there and an easy run for him. No resistance whatsoever there. And he has proven to be a threat so far this game, as that is his second touchdown. He was able to just work right along that left side with no resistance and a quick touchdown. So O'Neill's able to redeem himself after the fumble on a previous offensive possession with another touchdown there. And the completed kick.
Caden's extra point is
So
good.
the Chieftains go up 14-7 after finally responding to the Monarchs' points. midway through the first. And of course, the Chieftains have really been lacking a serious run game going into this season. Obviously, they had a pretty good rushing game in their first outing against Centralia, but ever since it's just been difficult for them to get their run game going. And that's partially because of the absence of a player like Viv O'Neill, who has been out with a broken hand. And up until today, he has a cast on his left hand or wrist area. So he's obviously playing now, and he's clearly made an impact on this game. But up until today, the Chiefs' rushing yard leader was Mason Pretty with 115 rushing yards, and most of those were in the Centralia game. So the Chieftains have really not been a running football team. We'll see if they can get a little bit more variety going into the season, willing that Viv O'Neill's healthy. Chieftains with an offsides kick here and a penalty, so they'll have to re-kick. 10:41 left to go in the half. So the Chieftains will kick it a little farther back. Cade Lujan will go at it again, this time from the 35. Well, the Monarchs have shown they can score early in this game. We'll see if they can respond to the last 7 of the Chieftains' points. Lujan, still a nice kick. And Monarch receiving. It'll be taken down at the 25.
A tackle by Atticus Kurtz.
And the receiver was Braden Chapman.
After a short return.
So a limited return there for Chapman as the Chieftains look for a defensive stop on their home field. The Monarchs, on the other hand, looking to keep themselves in this game, especially at the high school level. High-scoring games are not all that common. So the Monarchs will run it down the middle. A pile of Monarch and Chieftain bodies about 4 yards away from the line of scrimmage.
Fullback Tim Sears up the middle. That tackle by Brandon Osterweiler.
So a pickup of actually around 2 yards.
Brayden, great time. Thank you. I'm very sorry.
And the Monarchs will go at it again. Play action. They'll hand it off. And a quick tackle as Keani McElwai was quickly tackled by a Chieftain defender. So 3rd and 9 as the Monarchs actually lose a yard there. Chieftains are starting to crack down on the running capabilities of the Monarchs. We'll see if the Monarchs have a response. So Cole Bush, the 3 receivers. Bush streaking down the left, and he'll get that catch to none other than Jack Shipley. Shipley with the easy first down there as the Chieftains fall through on getting a quick 3 and out.
First down and 10 for the Monarchs on the 41-yard line.
So Shipley's been the only receiver so far in this game to catch anything. Bush will hand it off. Down the middle is McElwai, and McElwai will get about 8 or 9 yards there.
Gain of 8, brings up 2nd down and 2.
So the Monarchs look like they have a little bit of traction here as they sit on the 48-yard line. Running clock, 8 minutes, 45 seconds left to go in the half. Bush will hand it off again, and the football will end up past the first down line as Barishev is able to get the first down and get the Monarchs into Chieftain territory.
That tackle by double tackle, 55, Cody Hardy.
So the Chieftain crown quieting down a little bit
Brings up first down and 10 for
as the Monarchs slowly push the football up the field in search of more points here. The Barishev will get to about the 41.
Gain of about 7 yards. At the outside. Tackled by Cody Hardy. Brings up second down and 4.
So a 2nd and 4 chance here for Mark Morris. Bush, play action. Bush looks to throw it. Gets that catch to Jamison Watson.
24 is Jamison Watson.
And Jamison Watson becomes the 2nd receiver of the game so far. So another first down for Mark Morris. Well, Mark Morris looking to steal a game on the Chieftains' home field. This is their 4th straight away game of the season so far, as they'll hand it off here. McElway gets about 2 yards there. Their next game ends up at Hawkinson, or excuse me, at home against Hawkinson, which, as everyone knows, Hawkinson's been proven to be a tough matchup for anyone in this league. They won the 2A state title last year, and they are definitely by no means an easy win. Mark Morris, though, spending a lot of time on the road. The throw is high and tripping into about 7 yards there is the Monarchs. So Chapman with the catch, and we'll take a look at that again real quick as a fake handoff ends up being a high throw to Chapman, who's able to pick up several yards on the way past the 30-yard line. So the Monarchs sit at the 29-yard line. Bush hands it off, or excuse me, keeps it himself. He's still going. Bush tripped by Sturvant, and he will fall at the 10. Bush, with a fake handoff, is able to get it right around the 10, dodge a couple tackles, and he's finally tackled by Sturvant on a shoelace tackle there, and just like that, the Monarchs end up in scoring position. Well, after looking like they were going to have a 3-and-out in the first couple plays of the game, they've really come alive here. McElway taken down in the backfield. Hochhalter is able to get him in the backfield and take away about a yard, so that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
And that brings up a 2nd down and 11.
So 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the half. Chieftains look to blitz. The pitch outside and running into the end zone, nearly with a touchdown. Is the Monarchs.
Touchdown at the 1 yard line.
And pushed out at the 1 yard line is the Monarchs. We'll take a look at that again as the running back whose number I didn't catch was able to get very close into that end zone, was pushed out by a couple Chieftain defenders to get the Monarchs right at the 1 yard line. And a timeout called by Mark Morris as they'll talk it over. So just over 4 minutes left to go in the half, as both teams will talk it over. Right now, it's 1 yard to the end zone for Mark Morris, and at the very least, they should end up with 3 points on the board. We'll see if they can get a touchdown here, or if the Chieftains can pull off a miracle defensive stop. Right now, the Chieftains up by 7. The Monarchs have had a strong run game all game. We'll see if they go to that again to get into the end zone. It's first down, so they have a good 4 tries at this. They'll hand it off, and touchdown for Mark Morris. And several players down on the field there after the touchdown. Number 73, Mike McNeil, is down for Mark Morris. And the Chieftains taking a knee for the injured Mark Morris player, as the Monarchs go up to 13 points, down by 1, and we'll see them kick, hopefully after McNeil walks off this field. So 4 minutes left to go in the half. The Monarchs have shown some strong offensive capabilities and been able to soak up a lot of time on the clock when it comes to their drives. A lot of it's been through the run game so far. We'll see if they continue that tonight. But so far it's worked, obviously, with that last touchdown being a run right into the end zone. And McNeil's still down. Well, we want to thank you for watching with us tonight, as I want to say thank you to our director, Jackson Pace, and various people we have behind the camera and behind the scenes here tonight. We also want to say that make sure that you stay and watch for the halftime show. We'll have several videos about what's going on around CR, as well as a little peek at what our homecoming court is looking like, especially on this homecoming game on October 4th here at Chieftain Stadium. So we'll make sure to stay for that. The Chieftains, right now, as I mentioned earlier, tied for 3rd in league right now with a 1-1 overall record. One win being to Richfield, the other being to the loss being to Hawkinson. A tough team to play, especially away, which they lost to last week. Their next game will be away at Washougal, so make sure to support them then. And hopping off the field is McNeil for the Monarchs. So we will resume play after brief injury there. The Monarchs will look to kick to get the extra point after their touchdown just a minute ago. And to kick will be Tamir Berashev. So with McNeil off the field completely, Berashev will set up to kick. The kick is blocked, and that will end up in a no-go. So the Chieftains hold on to a 1-point lead after a blocked kick there. So able to avoid the 14-point score, and we'll take a look at that again, as it's uncommon to see a block kick. Missed kicks, yes, but a nice block as Chieftains were able to get a hand on it and get that kick to fall just short of a goalpost. So the Monarchs will kick it off after not being able to tie the game. Chieftains would like to have a stronger lead going into halftime. We'll see if they can get that here. 4 minutes should be enough time, as quickly as they've moved offensively so far, to get themselves in a position to score, assuming they don't turn it over or that Mark Morris puts up some strong defensive stops. So Berashev will kick again. This time to a Chieftain receiver. And he'll squib it on the ground. It is to the Chieftains. And Atticus Kurtz is able to get it. He'll end up at the 42 or 43 yard line with a solid reception. So 3 minutes, 53 seconds left to go in the half.
Brings the ball to the 44-yard line, first down for the Chiefs.
Chieftains will start at the 44. Pretty will be at the helm as QB, with 3 receivers ready to go on the field. Bibb O'Neill in the backfield with Pretty. Pretty looks to throw it. That's to Struvent. Struvent fakes, tries to work behind his blockers, but he's tackled at the 49. So Struvent will end up just short of Monarch territory. Running clock, 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go here. Pretty, only 2 receivers now. Pretty hands it off to Struvent. Struvent throws it, and that catch is caught. There's a flag in the backfield, and Jacob Ayers is able to get the catch there after the throw from Struvent. So there was a flag on the play. Struvent able to take that fake that he was going to hand off and then throw it to Ayers. Looks like the Chieftains will be pushed back regardless, though, and that play will not count. They will get pushed back all the way to the 35, bringing up a 2nd and long situation here. So the clock will start running again, about 3 minutes left to go. Three receivers again available for Pretty. And a whistle and a flag as there's a delay of game on the Chieftains. So another penalty for the Chieftains as they take too long to snap the ball. So they'll get pushed back another 5 yards and end up at the 30-yard line. So 2nd and 24 with a running clock. Chieftains are going to have to work quickly and get across the field in a hurry here. Pretty with time. Pretty will take it himself. Pretty still going. Pretty gets past the original line of scrimmage and runs right out of bounds at the 50. Pretty with a nice burst of speed to get out of the pocket. No receivers available to him at the time, so decided to take it. Pretty has been a tough tackle all season for any team to be able to get. He doesn't get sacked very often, as he was able to turn that into some yardage there. The Chieftains will actually be at the 49. Pretty looks to hand it off. He'll get it to Strubent, but the ball is knocked down by the outstretched arms of the Monarchs. So 4th and 5, the punt team will get onto the field with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the half. Bereshev will look to receive as Atticus Kurtz will punt it off for the Chieftains here. Kurtz with a solid punt. That'll end up way into the teens as the Chieftains end up getting that punt to go all the way to the 14 before bouncing out of bounds. So good punt there. Not strong field position for Mark Morris. We'll see if they change up their game plan here to try and get another score within 2:10. So far their drives have been pretty slow, as they've been basically built around running the football. So 3 receivers on the right side. And running is their quarterback, Bush. And he will get about 8 or 9 yards.
And run by quarterback Bush, tackled by Adam Ladania.
So 2 minutes to go here. Clock is running. The Monarchs are going to have to move quickly if they want to throw some kind of Hail Mary pass to possibly get themselves close or into the end zone. And a flag on the field. A false start on the Monarchs, which will push them back after losing valuable time. So 5 yards lost there as the Monarchs jumped the line a little too quickly, causing that penalty, and 5 yards lost. 1:41 left to go in the half. Bad snap for the Monarchs, still able to recover it and nearly picked off, as the intended receiver was Bryson Webb. The Chieftains almost able to get their hands on that football. So 1:36.
Bryson Webb brings up 2nd down and 15.
So 2nd and long for the Monarchs, looking at a 2nd and 15 or so. Running is Bush. Bush powers down the middle. He may just have gotten about a yard past the original line of scrimmage. So 3rd and 9.
Tackled by Chieftain Sean Raines.
Clock is running. 1:10 left to go. The Monarchs are going to have to continue
Third down and 9.
to move up the field and at a much quicker pace than what they are right now. In fact, by the time they get this football off, it might just be 50 seconds left to go. Seconds left. Bush runs down the middle, quickly tackled by Chieftain defenders. And he may not pick up more than a yard there. So 42.7 seconds left on the clock. A timeout called by Columbia River. As 4th and 8 or 9 here for the Monarchs. The field position they have is still, it's dangerous to give up the football this close to a Chieftain end zone. But of course, the Monarchs might want to go for it here and see if they can turn something into some kind of yardage and possibly get themselves into a position to score or to get near the end zone to get out of the half. So it looks like Mark Morris will decide to play it safe and punt the ball off. A smart decision, especially as close they are at the 26-yard line. They'll kick it off. Sturvant runs with it, and he is quickly tackled at the 44-yard line. So 33 seconds left to go. Chieftains will be at the 44. Still enough time to get some more points on the board as the Chieftains get a second opportunity. They had to punt the ball off at about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. With 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. We'll see if they can extend right now their 1-point lead to head into the half. 33 seconds left to go. So 4 receivers on the field. Bibb O'Neill will remain in the backfield. Pretty looks to get some time. Sturvant gets out of a tackle, gets out of another tackle. He won't gain any yards with those fakes there, but he was able to get to the 33 or 34-yard line. And a timeout by the Chiefs to stop the clock.
Tackle by number 2, Adam Ladania.
And another nice play from Max Sturvant, who was able to get the catch there and continues to be a tough tackle, just avoiding defenders left and right. So 23.8 seconds left to go. Chieftains at the 34-yard line. They've made long passes before that have been over 30 yards. We'll see if Pretty can complete a play like something along those lines here. 23 seconds played correctly, though, could last several plays, so we'll see what the Chieftains decide to do here coming out of the timeout. Pretty looks to throw it again. Pretty gets out of the pocket himself. Pretty still going. He's running, and he will get out of bounds. An excellent run as Mason Pretty finds some open field and is able to run out of bounds. That was a best-case scenario for the Chieftains there, as Pretty couldn't find any receivers. Again, able to find some gaps within the pocket and get himself to the 13-yard line before running out of bounds. So 15 seconds for the Chieftains to make a play for the end zone here. 4 receivers on the field. Pretty looks to throw it down the middle, and that is a turnover. Mark Morris has the football. He's running past the 30. and he will end up at the 36 or 7 yard line, 0.3 seconds left to go in the game, and that might just be it. As Mason Pretty with a dangerous pass right down the middle. Mark Morris defenders everywhere, and a quick turnover and interception. That's the risk that any high school team runs, or any team in general, but high school especially, when they throw the football as often as the Chieftains do, is an interception. Fortunately, that didn't end up in a 100-yard pick six. So we'll see one more down of football in this half. As he's taken down at the 45. So the Monarchs are able to stave off the Chieftains from scoring another easy touchdown. The Chieftains don't give up any points on an interception, but do only have a lead by 1 point as the Chieftains go into the half up 14-13 at home.
The student store is now open for all students.
Our student store is a third year for our third year students. It is the only store here on campus, but it's sort of a learning lab for our third year marketing students.
The student store still manages to stay open during both lunches regardless of the strict guidelines they have to follow.
Student store is only open during lunches, both lunches. That's when obviously the volume of students. We serve all the students on campus that are here on campus. We have an open campus, so many of our upperclassmen go off campus for lunch, but they still try and sneak by the student store and grab some things. Student store is located right smack dab in the middle of the school, between the upper and lower commons, and so it's pretty accessible, easy to find, you can't miss it.
Due to some budget cuts and restrictions that started this year, some things have changed from last year. Even with the new rules implemented, the student store tries to make their menu items healthy and nutritious.
It's created a challenge for us, and so there are Spunkmeyer cookies in there that we bake every day, fresh. The aroma is fantastic. You can smell it walking by the store. It's a special formula, whole wheat formula that Spunkmeyer makes just for student stores, so they're a little more nutritional than some of the regular cookie dough. There's some energy drinks in there, diet sodas, fruit smoothies that we sell in the store. So our menu is limited, mainly due to some of the restrictions that all the schools have to abide by.
With so many student requests to work in the student store, only a few will make the cut.
The incentive is, number one, it's a class, and it's a pretty fun class. If you go in there, they have the stereo going. It's kind of like a little clubhouse. We treat it like a business, but it's fun. We have way more kids that want to work the student store than we have spots available. You have to be at least in marketing for 1 year to even have a chance to work in the student store. So it's kind of a coveted spot. Kids love to get in there, and it's fun also. You learn customer skills, talk and communicate with other students when they come in. So it's kind of a fun place to work. Fun way to earn a credit.
With all of the things that are bought from the student store, where does all the money go?
And the money that is made from the student store goes to our marketing DECA program for kids that are competing in DECA. And so these kids travel a lot and compete a lot. We have 50 to 100 DECA members on campus. So the money goes to fund these competitions and activities that we do with DECA.
We also asked Luke, a senior that works in the student store, what he likes most about working there.
A lot of times it's hard for kids to get through the day without a little bit of booze, especially in IB classes.
We interviewed Gio, a sophomore at River, what his favorite thing at the student store is.
The sweet smell of cookies is my favorite, though. When I pass by here, I'm just so tempted to get a cookie.
Check out the student store during your lunch today to support our school.
And welcome back to Chieftain Stadium, as we just got a look at the homecoming queen and some things going around Columbia River. Both teams have re-entered the field as the Chieftains hold on to a 1-point lead, 14-13, on this homecoming Friday night. The Monarchs, on the other hand, looking to steal a win on on the Chieftain homecoming football game and get themselves a 1-1 overall league record, especially going into their next week's game against Hawkinson. The Chieftains, on the other hand, just looking to get their second win and have an over 500 league record. So far, there haven't been very many games played within league, and every win is huge for any team that can get one, especially with league being so tight, again, this early in the season. So far the Chieftains have had a couple plays go their way, 2 touchdowns, both held by the returning Chieftain running back, Isaac Bibb O'Neill, who after an injury and being out for 3 weeks has finally returned and been able to, he's been out for 4 weeks, has finally returned and been able to have an impact on the field today. And despite one fumble he had earlier in the game, he's been able to come out strong with 12 of the 14 Chieftains points. The other 2 belong to Cade Lugin, who completed both kicks after Bibb O'Neill's 2 touchdowns. Right now, on the other hand, the Monarchs have had a couple good plays to get into the end zone. Both of them ended up with touchdowns of 6 points. Only 1 kick was completed, though, with another being tipped and ended up being a incomplete goal there. So with a minute left until the third quarter, the Chieftains are looking for an opportunity to receive the kick here and hopefully give themselves a little bit more padding as far as a lead goes in this second half. They've struggled to score in the third quarter over the course of this season. We'll see if they can get a spark going early here. That can change that.
Chieftains will receive the ball for the second half.
So the Monarchs will kick it off.
Within the south end zone.
And we're looking at a pretty night here tonight, as we want to thank you for watching CRTV again on this Chieftain Homecoming Friday night for 2019. I'm Jordan Ryan on hand, and we'll see the Chieftains receive the kick here and see if they can get a strong start to the final 24 minutes of football. And an onside kick is touched by the Chieftains, will go out of bounds. A flag on the play. So the Chieftains will take the ball at around the 35-yard line, give or take, after the onside kick went out of bounds.
Chieftains, first and 10.
The Monarchs looking for a quick defensive stop here to hopefully get themselves a lead on their next offensive opportunity. There have been 3 turnovers the entirety of this game. 2 of them have belonged to the Chieftains, one being a fumble and the other being an interception. Neither have caused a score for Mark Morris, but the Chieftains still have to be careful. Pretty slips out of another sack and gets the first down before going out of bounds.
Mason Purdy on a nice scramble. Gains the
Pretty's able to get out of a tough situation there in which he couldn't find any receivers, and he'll pick up a quick first down. Pretty. Hands it off to Bib O'Neill. Bib O'Neill working the right side and quickly tackled by number 54, Mark Morris. That's Tim Sears. So Bib O'Neill will only get a gain of about 2 yards there, bringing up a 2nd and 8 on the 48-yard line. And Mark Morris a little too quick to jump the snap there, and that'll be an offsides penalty, 5 yards. The Chieftains now walk into Monarch territory. So instead of a 2nd and long, Chieftains have a 2nd and 3. 3 receivers ready to go. Bib O'Neill remains in the backfield. Pretty, play action. Throws it to Struvent, and he's able to just catch that. And an incomplete pass there as the ball hit the ground right before it went to Struvent. And that pass was right at his ankles. So 3rd and 3. Chieftains will try again. River hands it off to Bib O'Neill. Bib O'Neill dodging tackles left and right, and he will maybe get to the 45 at most. So 4th and 2, give or take. And the Chieftains might just have to kick it here. Cade Lujan is on the field. He has punted the ball before, but Mason Pretty is as well, and looks like they'll go for it. Pretty looks to throw it, gets it to Struvent, and spinning, and can't get it, that catch to go right through his hands. Struvent's been reliable all season, but that catch just a little too much, as the Monarchs will get the ball there. Struvent had that ball go right through his hands, just a tough catch. And the Monarchs will end up with the football after the turnover. The handoff to McElway, and he may pick up about a yard or so. Or excuse me, that was so 2nd and 8, as the Chieftains look to keep Mark Morris out of their own field. Ten minutes left to go in the 3rd. Mark Morris hands it off, and met by a wall of Chieftain defenders is Mark Morris runner Barishev. So he'll lose about 2 there. So right back to 3rd and 10. Well, the Chieftains have seen this before, as on the last scoring drive from Mark Morris, they were able to slip out of a tough 3rd down situation. We'll see if Mark Morris can pull some of that same magic now. Bush in the dirt and can't get the pass to Braden Chapman. That'll bring up a 4th and 10, and Mark Morris will be forced to punt the ball off, as just a tough pass there as it ended up right in the dirt and too low. So the Chieftains will look to receive the football after a quick 3 and out for the Monarchs. Struvent will look to receive the football at around the 30 or 25 yard line. Low snap, and that punt will end up at the 23 yard line. So at 9 minutes even, left to go in the third. Chieftains will take it. Will take it right at the 23. Or excuse me, the 22-yard line, with another chance to see if they can score here. Both teams have failed to score in their first offensive outings of the half. First and 10 for the Chieftains. Hands it off to
Off the right side.
Dylan Keir.
Dylan Keir.
And Keir had a strong outing against Richfield 2 weeks ago. That's the first time we've seen him at the running position, or excuse me, at the running back position tonight. He remains there now. And Pretty will talk it over with his offensive line. Chieftains better hustle to get the ball off. They do. Pretty sinks back down the middle to Struvent, and that is caught. And so a gain of about 14 or so yards.
35-yard line. Stop by next Struvent.
Struvent with a nice catch there.
By the Turk.
Chieftains get the first down and now start at the 35. Struvent with another catch, but he's quickly tackled. He may not have gained any yards there.
Tackle right away.
Looks like he lost a yard on that tackle. So 7 minutes, 35 seconds.
Brings up second down and 11.
So 2nd and 11 for the Chiefs, even after that reception. Pretty with Keir in the backfield. Pretty looks to throw. Looking deep is Pretty, and that's picked off. Number 11, Jack Shipley, still going. Shipley down the sideline, and he will end up being tackled at the 18. Another costly interception by the Chieftains, as Shipley was able to leap into the picture for that, and there's an injured Chieftain on the field. First, we'll take a look at that interception. Shipley able to jump and catch that pass, and he made his way down the sidelines to around the 20-yard line. Still an injured Chieftain on the field. Difficult to identify who it is. So 7 minutes and 6 seconds here in the third, and the Chieftains give up another interception. The Chieftains have already faced one injury tonight. Or excuse me, we've already seen one injury tonight, not from the Chieftains. And both teams will move off of the field to take an unofficial timeout. The Chieftain player still on the sideline, on the far side of the field. So we'll see if this Chieftain turnover ends up becoming points for the Monarchs. So far this game has been pretty close. No team's really been able to show any kind of offensive dominance. It's been pretty even for most of the game, so we'll see if this is the turning point here. The injured Chieftain player is Brayton Osterweil, who will hop off the field. Osterweil, the junior, who is playing tight end for the Chieftains. During that play, he will make his way off the field with the help of the coaching staff. The Chieftains will lose Osterweil and look to play some defense here and hopefully prevent this turnover from causing anything more than just a missed offensive opportunity. So Mark Morris with another opportunity here after they weren't able to score early in the third. Cole Bush, play action with a low snap. He'll get back onto it, and that will end up in a sack with a loss of about 1 yard.
Loss of a yard. He's second down and 11.
So 2nd and 11 off of that low snap. Bush to pitch it back. That's to Bryson Webb. Webb will fall just short of the 10-yard line. He'll end up at about the 12 or 11-yard line there to engage in about a 3rd and 6. Or excuse me, a third and 2. So 1 receiver on the field for the Chiefs, or excuse me, for the Monarchs. And Bush will take it himself, and he'll get the first down easily as he gets past the 10-yard line. So 1st and goal for the Monarchs as they get inside the 10-yard line. 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third. Chieftains still up 14-13. We'll see if that changes in these next couple of plays. Bush, play action. Hands it off to number 8. That's Chapman. Chapman's still going, and he won't get quite to the end zone, but he will get awful close as he'll be at the 1-yard line, looking at a 2nd and 1.
Tackled by 24, Isaac Gore. Looks like 2nd down and 2 for the 2-yard
So
line.
we'll take a look at that again as a nice run along the left side as Chapman with a good run, and we'll see Mark Morris try and push their way into the end zone, and touchdown for the Monarchs. And looks like there's a brief altercation on the field as both teams engaged in a little bit of an altercation there. Who started it, it's hard to tell, but both teams have broken it up and separated themselves. So a foul on the Chieftains and on the Monarchs, a double play there, and so a touchdown for the Monarchs as they go up 19-14 and 2 penalties on each team. They'll be offsetting, so the referees will pick up the flags and we'll move on with this game as the Monarchs look to possibly take a 20-14 lead if they can complete this kick. Assuming they do kick it, they might go for 2. We don't know yet, so. Looks like the Monarchs will try to go for 2 here. They'll hand it off. That's back to Webb. Webb with another conversion there. So the 2-point conversion is good. That'll bring up the score to 21, re-earning that point that Mark Morris lost in the second quarter when they had that missed kick. So they take a 7-point lead at this point. So the best the Chieftains can do off of normal points is tie. If they go for 2, they can get to 22 points, assuming they can respond offensively here. So far, their last couple of offensive possessions have ended up in an interception, a turnover on downs, and an interception. So we'll see if they can pull out with the score here as the Monarchs kick. So Burashev will kick it. This one's also low. And will end up in the hands of number 5, Atticus Kurtz. Kurtz at the 50-yard line will get pushed out of bounds. And with a nice run there for Kurtz, 4 minutes and 23 seconds to go in the third. So good reception for Kurtz. The Chieftains have had good kickoff receptions throughout this game. That's been the one very consistent point for them so far. So the Chieftains look to answer 7 quick Monarch points. They'll hand it off to Bibb O'Neill to start. Bibb O'Neill down the middle. He'll pick up about 7 yards. O'Neill continuing to play with that cast, which has to be difficult, especially when it comes to holding the football.
Concessions closing at 9 p.m.
But he continues to push through here. Pretty back to Bibb O'Neill. Bibb O'Neill continues to power in, and as he just runs over a Monarch defender, slow to get up, is Barashev, who was just plowed by Bibb O'Neill as he gets the first down there. A nice play by the senior running back. And we'll take another glimpse at that as Bibb O'Neill was able to just power his way to the 31-yard line. Bibb O'Neill will go with it again, following his blockers, and he will stop at right around the 26-yard line.
Sonny Harris, the third. Brings up
So 2nd and 6
second down and 6.
for the Chieftains as they continue to move their way up the field at a good pace. Chieftains look to talk it over. 2 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the third. Pretty will go to Bibb O'Neill again. Bibb O'Neill right down the middle, and he won't get much farther than the 25-yard line.
Tackle again by Sonny Harris, the third.
So the clock continues to run. Kier will come in for Bib O'Neill.
Brings up third down and 2.
So 3rd and 4 for the Chieftains here. This is going to be a big play. They're just out of field goal range to realistically get 3 points onto the board, and I'm not sure if that's something they'd want to settle for regardless. Pretty will go to Kier. There's a flag early on the play, and tackled
Flag.
is Kier as McAway is able to get that tackle early. We'll see if that flag is beneficial for the Chieftains, as they clearly didn't make it to the coveted first down marker.
Penalty declined. That brings up fourth down for the Chiefs.
So the Chieftains are going to go for it here. That penalty was picked up. 4th and 4, 2:10 left in the third. Chieftains in a odd field position here. They can't punt it reasonably and they can't kick, so they go for it. A blitz, Pretty facing a sack, and he's brought down. For the first time tonight, he's tackled. And Mark Morris is cheering off of that defensive stop. A little bit over 2 minutes left to go in the third. So a turnover on downs for the Chieftains. No offensive success there, as Pretty's been able to slip out of sacks all night, and up until that play where Mark Morris got a very timely tackle. Running down the middle is the Monarchs.
That's Miguel Cara. Gain about a yard.
So Miguel Parra will get a yard or so on that run.
Number 40, Eddie Houghholder. Brings up, let's say that was gain of 2 yards. Brings up 2nd down and 8.
So 2nd and 8 with a minute 30 left to go in the third. Monarchs resemble another tight formation. They look to run it. The pitch back to number 80, flag on the field, and Bryson Webb is able to get a couple yards.
9 yards. But there's a flag. Tackled by Chieftains Victor Flores.
And there's a penalty on the Monarchs as Webb was trying to work that right side. Of course, there was a penalty against Mark Morris, which will push them back into a 3rd and 14, or 2nd and 14. That penalty will call for a replay of the down. Bush, quick shot pass to Chapman, and Chapman might get back to the original line of scrimmage, but not much more there. Minute to go in the third as the Monarchs look at a 3rd and 9.
Tackled by Atticus Kurtz. Brings up 3rd down and 9.
So 30 seconds left to go in the third before we flip the field once again. Bush looks to throw it, flanking down the right side. And a nice block over on the other end by number 2. Incomplete pass, though, as that brings up a 4th and 9. The Monarchs will have to punt it. So the Chieftains are able to get the Monarchs into a turnover here after they had their last turnover on downs. We'll see if Sturvant can get the Chieftains into some good field position. Chapman will punt for the Monarchs. Shervett sits right around the 45 with 23 seconds left. And a long punt there, as that will fall at the 26-yard line. A nice punt there. 12.5 seconds left to go. The Chieftains might decide to run one more play before we head into the fourth quarter. But right now the Chieftains are down by 7, 21-14. So with 3 receivers, the usual on the field, and Bib O'Neill back in the backfield with Pretty. Pretty, an opportunity to run one more play. You look to throw it deep, and that play is broken up. The intended receiver was Ayers, as that pass was broken up. 6.8 seconds. We'll see that one more time as number 8 was able to get in the middle of that. That was Braden Chapman who was able to swat that pass away. The Chieftains looking at a 2nd and 10. With 6.8 seconds left to go, they have a chance for one more play here. Chieftains get it to Shervett. Shervett working that left side, trying to find some space, and he will continue to push it up the field and squeeze out about 6 more yards than he should have there. And that will set him at the 33. So we'll move into the fourth quarter. The final 12 minutes of football here at Chieftain Stadium. Right now, Mark Morris up 21-14 as they were able to score in this third quarter. The Chieftains were not able to score. They gave up an interception and a turnover on downs. We'll see if that can change here in the fourth. They are in need of these points here, and Mark Morris, on the other hand, is sitting in a pretty good position, especially at the Chieftains' home stadium. With another score here, they could put themselves just out of reach, especially at the high school level. So the Chieftains really need some points right here on this run, as they will start at the other side of the field at the 33-yard line. So Chieftains at the 33, looking at a 3rd and 3. Bib O'Neill remains in the backfield with Pretty. Pretty looks to throw it down the middle, and that pass is completed to Jacob Ayers. Ayers able to get that catch there, right down the middle. So a 15-yard reception there and a first down for the Chieftains to get themselves a good start to this fourth quarter. Pretty taking his time, gets it to Ayers again, and he jabs, able to get into the 44-yard line. So Ayers with another reception and another first down.
Tackled by Mark Morris's Braden Chapman.
So Chieftains with 2 quick first downs there, both going to Jacob Ayers. So now into Monarch territory. The Chiefs Gets it to Bib O'Neill, and
Isaac up the middle. Gain
he's
of
able to
3.
get to the 41-yard line, about 3-yard gain there.
Tackled by Monarchs 55, Marco Valdivia.
So 11 minutes of football left to go here. The Chieftains moving at a pretty good clip to get up the field. Pretty looks to throw it. He's got time. Pretty looks deep, and that is caught. Keith Blau with a nice reception there. As the Chieftains with a 38-yard reception. Blau right down the middle with a nice catch past the outstretched arms of a Mark Morris defender, and the Chieftains, just like that, end up right on the doorstep of the end zone. Bib O'Neill looking to gain some yards, and he will be pushed back maybe with a gain of 1 or 2 at most. So the Chieftains at the 4-yard line, looking at a 2nd and 4 after that botched run by Bib O'Neill there. Chieftains in a strong position here to tie this ball game if they play it smart and don't have another costly turnover, which has happened several times while they were right on the brink of scoring. Pretty, play action. Gets to Bib O'Neill again. O'Neill tripping, pushes his way close to the end zone, and he will be right at an inch away from the end zone. Very close to his 3rd touchdown of the night. We'll see if they go to him again. They do. Bib O'Neill pushes in, and touchdown for Isaac Bib O'Neill, his 3rd of the game. And Isaac Bib O'Neill with another good touchdown as he's able to push his way into the end zone and get that 3rd touchdown for him of the game. What an excellent game for him coming out, especially after not playing for 4 weeks straight. So Kate Lujan will look to make the kick here, and that is good. The Chieftains tie this game up at 21-21 with 9:19 left to go in this game, as we are still, it is still very much undecided on who can win this right here. Nobody has really been able to just show dominance over one team or another so far, and the Chieftains needed that touchdown and they were able to get it. As they tie up the game and get themselves back into this with still plenty of time left to go for both teams to get themselves another offensive opportunity.
And that's Caden Llewellyn kicking it off for the Chieftains.
So Cade Lujan
To Braden Chapman.
will kick it off to Mark Morris. And a good clean kick there from Lujan. Through the hands it is of Massier. And he's not going to pick up very many yards there after that sloppy reception there. So the Monarchs will start at the 12-yard line, not great field position. The Chieftains, with good defense here, might be able to get good field position and another opportunity to score. The Monarchs, on the other hand, have shown to be able to run the football all night and take time off the clock. That might be a key strategy here Looks like Bush will keep it,
Quarterback keeper over the left
and
side.
he will pick up about 4 yards.
Tackled by Chieftains 33, Valero.
So they'll bring up a 2nd and 5. So he actually picked up 5 yards there. Mark Morris with 3 receivers on the left side. 8 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. Running is Keani McAway, McAway, who's able to pick up that first down for the Monarchs as they find themselves at the 33. The Chieftains still looking for a stop here. The Monarchs have shown some offensive capabilities for sure, as of course this game's 21-21. Low snap, able to hand it off. Quick tackle there as Bereshov is taken down in the backfield. That'll be a loss of about a yard or 2. And another injured player. This one happens to be for Mark Morris. As that's our 3rd player down of the night. 7 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in this football game. Mark Morris will reconvene and take an unofficial timeout as we have an injured player. Looks like a knee injury possibly. 2nd and 11 for Mark Morris here. Well, so far, this game has been very consistent for both teams in the sense that they both have 21 points on the board, and they also have successfully shown off good run games, despite the Chieftains throwing the football more and having 2 interceptions. And that's number 54, Dylan Dean, who is walking on his own weight, which is a good sign for Mark Morris. The Chieftains have run into the end zone all 3 times that they've scored. And of course, Mark Morris has pushed the ball up the field on a consistent basis by running it. They'll throw it here. That's through the hands of Jack Shipley. So luckily there wasn't any Chieftain defenders behind Shipley to pick that pass off, as it spent quite a bit of time in the air. Incomplete, brings up a 3rd and 11 situation here for Mark Morris. Bush, play action. Bush looks to throw it again and tackled quickly by number 2 is Adam Harenya. There's a flag on the field that was thrown before the pass reception, so we'll see who that's on. But on a 3rd and 11, that could be a tough penalty for the Monarchs, who are looking to give themselves a lead even with 7 minutes and 39 seconds left to go. So an illegal block as the Monarchs will bring out their punting team. Strovent again will look to receive as Mark Morris is unable to capitalize on an opportunity to score here. Still a good amount of time, so we'll see if Mark Morris gets another opportunity later on in the game. They'll kick for now. Shervent waves it off, and that'll be a fair catch at the 32.
38-yard line.
So
33-yard line. First and 10.
First and 10 as the Chieftains will actually be at the 33. And looking for some momentum here as Mark Morris possibly with another chance to stop the Chieftains and get them to a three and out situation. Chieftains, on the other hand, look to push the ball up the field. They did well on their last offensive play series. We'll see if they can continue that momentum going into this next one here. And a flag on the play. Looks like an offsides on Mark Morris. Or, excuse me, actually on Mark. It was not on Mark Morris. It's a false start on the Chieftains. So the Chieftains will push back to a 1st and 15 situation here. Pretty has time, looks to throw it, and he'll get that pass completed to Herenya. Herenya will get about 5 yards, so he'll make it right around to the original line of scrimmage for the Chieftains at the 33.
Second down and 10.
So 2nd and 10 with 7 minutes to go. Pretty looks down the middle, and a near catch there by Ayers, as that was right over the shoulder and would have likely ended up in a touchdown given that he had caught it, but it went right through his hands. Ayers with an incomplete play there. So 3rd and 10, Chieftains in a tight spot here as they really need this first down completion. And 10 whole yards to go. We'll see what they do here. Pretty doesn't hand it off to Bib O'Neill. He'll keep it. Pretty dodging through defenders. Pretty gets to at least the 40-yard line. There's a flag on the field. And there's some confusion onto what the flag is for. It came well after the play. We'll see Pretty run that play again as he's able to get through the pocket and weave past defenders to get that first down. A nice play by Mason Pretty. And that would be a first down, assuming that this flag does not go against the Chieftains. It will go against the Chiefs. And a repeat of that 3rd down there. So another 3rd and 10 for the Chiefs as they'll get pushed back to where they were originally. So in this case, they'll actually get a 3rd and 9 situation instead of a 3rd and 10. Well, with the clock running down at 6:39 left to go, the Chieftains are looking to complete this down here after that last play by Pretty did not count. Chieftains will try again. Pretty with time. Pretty looking deep to Shervent, and he catches it. And Shervent being reliable as ever on that catch there to get the Chieftains into the Monarch 45. A nice play there as Shervant was wide open, able to use his speed to get himself to the football there and fall right at the 45. So a nice play and momentum shifter, hopefully for the Chieftains. Bib O'Neill loses the football, and that's a turnover as the Monarchs pick it up. Another fumble for Bib O'Neill. And that is a tough play as Bib O'Neill tried to power his way into the middle, had the ball popped out from underneath him, and Mark Morris was able to get on top of it. So with 6 minutes to go, just like that, our offense and defense shifts entirely as Mark Morris gets another opportunity with plenty of time and solid field position. Handing it off to McElwee. He'll get the first down and get into Chieftain territory. Well, and of course, Bib O'Neill has that cast on his left hand, which, regardless of whether he tucks the ball in his right or left arm, it's still tough to get a strong grip on the football like he normally would with limited mobility in that hand and wrist area. So that could quite possibly be a reason for the two fumbles we've seen tonight. As tackled is number 21, Langston Bartel. So the Chieftains will stop the Monarchs at the 45. 5 minutes and 10 seconds with a running clock here left to go in the game. A score for Mark Morris could prove to be the defining points of this game. Keeping it is Cole Bush, and Bush will go to the 38 or 40 yard line right there. So 2nd and 5. Monarchs, 4 minutes, 30 seconds. Monarchs hand it off, and that is Bereshev, who was able to pick up a couple yards. He'll be close to a first down, but not quite to that final marker. So he will look at a 3rd and 1. Bush, play action. He'll hand it off to McElwee. And that will be a first down for McElwee as the Monarchs continue to push the ball up the field with a first down. So at the 33-yard line sits the Monarchs, looking to get themselves into the end zone here. McElwee tackled, and the football is loose, but he was down before then. So 6 or 7 yards there for the Monarchs as the clock continues to run. 3 minutes left to go, 21-21. And this is do or die right now for both teams, both the Monarch offense and the Chieftain defense here, judging how long it's taken for both teams to get their way up the field. This may be the only opportunity Mark Morris has going forward. We'll see. Hands it off to Chapman, and Chapman is tackled early.
Sweeper on the right side, that's number 8, Braden Chapman.
So there's a flag on the field right around the 30-yard line.
Isaac. Yeah. Penalty on the play.
We'll see who that penalty was on and whether it will push the Monarchs back or move them forward. So 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in this game. It looks like the Monarchs will lose about 5 yards on a holding penalty. 2nd and 10 here for the Monarchs. Chieftains get a break there after the Monarchs were on the doorstep of getting that first down. Low snap, hands it off to number 43. That's Miguel Parra, and Parra is able to get to about the 30-yard line, give or take. So he'll actually sit at the 29.
Tackled by Chieftains Eddie Huckauer.
So a big down right here for both teams as the 3rd and 6 could prove to be a game changer for either side. Bad snap. Looks like Bush will throw it deep. Bush looks to get it, and that's caught somehow. As a miracle catch right there. And a touchdown. There is a flag on the play. We'll see if that counts for anything. And it's for a pass interference on the offense, and looks like there was a push-off on that play there. We'll take a look at that again. That was a massive play as Jack Shipley looks like he pushed off on one of the Chieftain defenders there to get some space for that catch. And that's going to be incredibly costly and a huge game changer as the Chieftains were able to get that call. That was going to be a pass interference one way or the other. The fact that it went towards the Chieftains is huge for them on their home field. So that's going to be a massive penalty. It's going to push them out of a potential throw zone for what we've seen so far. Shipley's been reliable all night as far as catching the football. And that might just be a huge game changer there. 1:43 left to go in this game. We might just go into some extra football tonight, judging the way this game has gone. The Chieftains with a nice stop to push the Monarchs back to the 44-yard line. So right now, the Monarchs are looking at a 3rd and 20 coming out of this timeout. So no turnover as of yet, but a serious 3rd and long situation for Mark Morris as the Chieftains get a much-needed stop. So the game still remains 21-21. If Shipley had been able to get away with that play there, this could very well be a 28-21 ball game. And the Chieftain players encouraging the crowd to get into it. This game is right down to the wire. And as exciting as homecoming games can get, we'll see where we go from here. 3rd and 20 for Mark Morris. High snap. The throw over the hands of Braden Chapman. And now we'll bring up a 4th and 20 situation for Mark Morris. We'll see if they bring on the punting team here. And it looks like the Monarchs are going to go for it here on a 4th and 20 with 1:41 left to go. Here's Bush. Bush looking deep. Bush, not a lot of time. Bush, he's nearly sacked, and that's intercepted. The Chieftains come out of nowhere to get that play. And what a miraculous turn of events there, as that was intercepted by Adam Herenya. And Bush forced to make a tough decision and a bad pass, as Herenya was able to get his outstretched arms on that football and catch it for a turnover. The Chieftains looking at 1 minute and 29 seconds to go in this game, and will they move the ball up quickly is the question. We'll see if they can do that here. But a spectacular couple of plays for the Chieftains. A lot of that went their way there after Mark Morris went on a 4th and 20. Pretty time. Pretty has a man behind him. Pretty runs out of bounds, and he will lose a couple of yards in that decision, but he will stop the clock at 1:21. So second and 13, as the Chieftains will move back to the 35. Chieftain crowd has quieted down quite a bit now. Pretty looks to get it to Ayers. Ayers fakes, and a tough tackle there, but a first down. And a good tackle by Braden Chapman. And a touchdown, or excuse me, not a touchdown, sorry. A timeout for the Chieftains, as Ayers with a nice reception there, as he was able to get that catch after a tough tackle from Braden Chapman on Mark Morris. So 1:14 left to go in this game. It is down to the wire, 21-21. The Chieftains will be right at the 50-yard line. It is do or die for both teams here. Mark Morris is probably looking best case scenario to push this game into overtime. The Chieftains, on the other hand, are looking to possibly score in what time there is left and end this game within regulated time. So 3 receivers on the left side, 1 on the right. Dylan Keir in the backfield with Pretty. Pretty seeing pass, has that pass be incomplete. He was seeing a lot of pressure there as 2 players coming on each side. 2nd and 10 at the 50, as Keir was not ready for a play like that. Clearly looking just to be more of a blocker than to a possible receiver, as Pretty was just trying to get it out of his hands before he was sacked. So a minute 10. 2nd and 10. Pretty looks to Ayers again. Ayers able to get out of bounds. So he will dive out of bounds right around the 40-yard line into Mark Morris territory. So that play took 5 seconds off the clock. Ayers was actually able to get to the 38. So minute 5 to go in this game here. Bib O'Neill back on the field with Pretty. Mark Morris looking to blitz. Pretty looking deep to Ayers. Ayers, oh, right through his hands. A near catch for Ayers, as that was right off of the fingertips of Ayers. Still a 2nd and 10 situation there. And Ayers had the last 2 receptions for the Chieftains just had that one go through his hands. It wouldn't have been a touchdown had he caught it, but the Chieftains would have gotten awful close. Under a minute to go in this game. We'll see if the Chieftains can take advantage of their opportunity here. Pretty facing pressure. Pretty slicing through defenders, and he'll get out of bounds right around the 28-yard line. 51.9 seconds to go for the Chieftains, as they'll bring up a 3rd and 2. Pretty was not able to get to the 28. He got out at the 30, but in the process stopped the clock. So 3rd and 2 for the Chieftains. A big down for them here as they want to get across that first down marker. They'll go to Bibb O'Neill. Bibb O'Neill will get the first down with ease there. Clock will stop at 46.6. So Isaac Bibb O'Neill is able to get the first down as the Chieftains go to the 27. And looks like there may have been a timeout.
Now it's 2nd down and 10.
As that play was odd there. Okay, so 43.2 seconds, 2nd and 10. An odd play there for sure. The Chieftains have enough time to get themselves into a position to score. They don't need much. Just a field goal will do it, especially with the time left. It'd be difficult for Mark Morris to pull off a miracle play, but they nearly did against the Chieftains a couple plays ago with Jack Shipley. We'll see what the Chieftains do here. Pretty with time, facing some pressure. Nice block from Bibb O'Neill. Pretty will run it. Pretty still going, spins out of bounds, and he will get around to the 16-yard line. That's another first down for the Chiefs. So, despite running out of bounds, Pretty will still get that first down, and he will have stopped at the 17, 34.2 seconds left to go. Chieftains moving up the field at a good clip here, but they don't have any time for mistakes, especially after they've had several fumbles and interceptions, 2 of each. We'll see if they can avoid that here. Pretty facing pressure. Pretty dodges through defenders. Pretty still going, and he is into the end zone. Mason Pretty diving into the end zone. A spectacular play from the Chieftain quarterback, Mason Pretty. And we will definitely take a look at that again as the Chieftains go up 27-21. Mason Pretty able to get out of pressure, run along that right sideline, and dive into the end zone to get the football just over the marker. An excellent play as there's some whistles on the field and a flag. The Chieftains go up 27-21 on an excellent play by Pretty. There's a flag on the field regarding their potential kick here, as they'll try to put themselves up 28-21. And it looks like that penalty will push them back 5 yards. Or excuse me, no. They will stay where they were. So Cade Lujan to kick it off here. Pretty fittingly will set up the kick. And a penalty on Mark Morris. So back-to-back penalties here. 22.8 seconds left to go in this game. It still may not be over yet, but it's going to take an incredible series of events for Mark Morris to get themselves all the way into their end zone here. So the Chieftains, after moving back 5 yards, will move forward 5 yards back to their original kickoff position. Of course, who other than Mason Pretty to set up the kick here for Cade Lugin. Lugin the kick, and it's good. 28-21, the Chieftains pull through with a score here late in the fourth quarter. And an excellent play by Pretty and with Lugin to finish it off. So Mark Morris will receive the kick here. They're not going to have much time to get a play going here. They may have an opportunity for a kick reception and one play. So we'll see what Mark Morris can do here after that spectacular play by the diving Mason Pretty to get into the end zone for the Chieftains.
Extra point is good.
So Lugin will punt off the ball. Mark Morris will get a very short chance to score again. Lugin with a good kick there and received by Mossier. Mossier tackled. Clock stops at 16.8 seconds.
On the kickoff, that's Isaac Beard.
So a quick tackle by Isaac Bibb. As the Chieftains
Take over
will
on their own.
defensively set up at the 19.
16
So 16.8 seconds left to go. Maybe 2 plays in the tank for Mark Morris here. 2 Chieftains back. And that play is intercepted. The Chieftains have the ball, and
That's
number 33,
Romero
Aguiano,
Take over.
with an excellent reception there, and 7.8 seconds. A huge turn of events there as Mark Morris had a slim chance as it was. Now the Chieftains retake the football as Aguiaro with an interception after it went off the hands of a Mark Morris receiver. An excellent catch there as the Chieftains will head back onto the field offensively one more time. 7.8 seconds. As the Chieftains couldn't have hoped for a more exciting homecoming game here tonight. And the Chieftains will run the clock out and win this football game 28-21. A big win for the Chieftains here on homecoming night to put themselves 2-1 overall in league, and unfortunately, Mark Morris will sit at 0-2 overall in league. The Chieftains finally over 500 in league, which will be huge moving forward, especially with all of the ties going forward. This was an excellent game after 3 touchdowns from Isaac Bibb O'Neill in the first quarter, 2 in the first and 1 in the fourth, and then finally a spectacular play and play series, that is, by Mason Pretty, who was able to sneak out of the clutches of the Mark Morris defense and dive into the end zone to put the Chieftains up 28-21, and of course, at the end, to get Aguiano with that interception there to dash all hopes of Mark Morris possibly scoring and putting this game into overtime. Huge plays by the Chieftains as we close tonight with a win from the Chieftains. We want to thank you for joining us tonight as the National Emmy Award, or not award winning, but award nominated CRTV wishes you good night. I'm Jordan Ryan, your host, and thank you for joining us.
Good job, Jody. Not my last.